Hi, how are you doing? Hey. So, I want to talk about how I think this is going to be the end of holidays and how holidays won't really be the same. And honestly, unless the global economics gets better, that's like in 2026, I believe. I don't really think people are going to just be celebrating like they used to. I haven't even seen it either. Honestly, the last time I see people being excited about any holiday was last year in 2023. And the thing is, I did make a little Reddit video about how Thanksgiving isn't Thanksgiving anymore. Like, obviously, there are always a small group of people who will celebrate Thanksgiving as if none of this stuff that's going on affected them, which is good, as it should. But what I'm saying is that people have really felt the feelings about, just how like what's going on right now, and just like everything kind of sucks. And beyond any like global politics and economic things and how we have Adolf as president, the thing is, it's just like, I believe people are super just bummed out. Beyond the obvious, no jobs. Beyond the obvious, global and local stressors. People are just burned out and depressed. That is my hypothesis. Because this is the thing. I've said this in many of my videos in the past. You can go watch it if you want to. About me complaining about rotten foods in grocery stores. And I have been shopping at every high and low end store to see if they have good quality fruits, even going to Latin and Asian grocery stores, Korean, Chinese, Japanese grocery stores, Mexican grocery stores, because I live in modern day Mexico, California, so I'm just going to get more Mexican grocery stores than Puerto Rican or Colombian stores. And the thing is, I haven't seen a good quality fruit, so I had to go to Erewhon because I'm assuming Erewhon has good quality fruit. Sadly, they didn't. They had decent quality fruit, and I got some though. It's worth it. I haven't really ate fruit in over 6 months because of this weird like economic thing that's going on with making all the quality of products getting lower. Last time I ate something good, I was in Atlanta, and that's in Atlanta, baby. I'm not going to spend $600 just to get some fruit. And I probably can't even ship back to my apartment, which sucks. And I miss Atlanta. Atlanta. And like, that's the thing. So when I went inside Erewhon, I saw everyone just like sad and depressed. Like, nobody looked happy. The only time people look happy is when I spoke to them, and that's nothing new, but I felt the vibe. Everyone was super individualistic, not in a bad way, but in a kind of like a stressed way, it seems like. And then people seem to be pretty decently happy to be in the store, or at least it presented that way, maybe because I was in Venice when this was going on, going to the store and everything, so maybe the whole beach vibe makes people feel better. But people looked a bit sad, stressed, even the people who look like higher earning workers, and the primary age was over 38, so of course, but people just didn't look happy. They looked attentive and awake, but they just didn't look happy. They didn't feel like plushy and human as I would always feel from people. And that's just what I'm thinking. It's just like, you take away the jobs really quickly. What's been going on in this country and in lots of other countries too has really just broken down and stressed out everyone. So I feel like holidays are a thing in the past, because the thing is with us, at least in America and obviously everywhere else, I'm just speaking upon American politics because that is what I'm heavily educated in at this moment. Like, people would use holidays as escapism. I did say that in my Halloween YouTube video when I was talking about how people just don't really feel the vibe like they used to, because we would use like fun holidays and our birthdays as escapism. But I don't really think people are doing that. And let me talk about this actually. Let's talk about some logistics and some realistic things. Like, okay, so how is it going to be made, for example, as a Thanksgiving dinner or a holiday meeting? That means people will have to go spend money to go fly over or drive over, take days off, take time off to come go to your house or go to a family member's house and celebrate. Beyond stress and things like that, who can afford a $600 plane ticket to go to your family? That's like your bills. That's your groceries. Or you can't afford it. Lots of people are using Klarna, Afterpay, and similar buy now, pay later services for them to survive. Like literally, this entire year, I have been living off of my credit card. So basically, the thing is, I wouldn't have all of the money up front because I love you very much in her route. And like, that's the thing. Like, everything is super expensive, and I don't really think people feel like it's worth it anymore to just try and do anything. I have been living off of credit cards for the past year, and this is my first time doing that because during 2020 to 2023, I was living scotch-free. I would only use credit card for fun. I literally will open my credit card just to have a good credit score. I didn't even use my credit card, right? Obviously, I would use it as a debit card and pay it right off because that's how you do it. I am making more money, actually. I'm making more money than I did. And not by a lot, but I have made a little bit more money, and I actually cut my expenses a lot. However, I'm living off of a credit card. Do you hear that? You know? And because of my age, I do not make a lot of money. I'm 22, and because of current job markets, I can't get a job. And the film industry is bad. The entertainment industry is bad. The gaming industry is bad. Media and advertisement is oversaturated, and also they're just having some IT guy going on Canva doing the multimedia design that I do for a living. And yeah, pretty much. And there's people who are making more than me. There are people with less expenses than I have, but then again, I don't really have any. I don't have a car. My Uber is $200 a month. My food is $300, and that's it. And then I pay rent and bills. And that's kind of the thing. It's just like, I don't really feel like people are caring about holiday this, holiday that. Everyone is really financially struggling, and I just don't believe people just have the same amount of money to celebrate the holidays, which is probably partially why they're not talking about it. And talking about something that you cannot afford, that you really want to do, can be very depressing, which is why no one is really talking about it. I've only seen one young lady on TikTok speaking her personal life and experience upon how, you know, celebrating Thanksgiving this month will be very difficult because it'll be around $400 to feed her family. And that's very true. In my area in Los Angeles, a turkey is $30, and the fruits and vegetables here, superbly expensive. Funny enough, Erewhon wasn't too expensive over the stores that I go to. Even going to Kroger. Even going to Food for Less Kroger. Child. No, girl, it really is not a difference. And obviously it is, but it's not a difference. And also, I personally feel like I think companies are getting more lazy in terms of how they advertise and present everything. And beyond that, it's also companies are aware that people don't really have spending money, which is why you haven't really seen any advertisements on Thanksgiving if it wasn't Michael's. because it's an arts and crafts store. Any store that's creative, or they're going to have seasonal things. Jumped up a fucking fly. They're going to have seasonal things. Beyond that, I have not seen Walmart advertising. I have not seen Target advertising. I haven't seen any advertising at all, actually, beyond Michael's advertising their seasonal decorations. So these companies are well aware of the fact that people can't afford to do anything, and I just find it very, very sad. But at the same time, it's like nobody's talking about it, and I'm not talking about the citizens. I'm talking about the people who are in charge of it, and they are in a way by saying we're cutting more jobs and we're not hiring anyone else. So that's just how they're talking about it, and everything is just in a big pickle right now. And I just personally believe, well, actually, obviously, the finances are a big point of it. But also, I feel like if we're thinking in a more nuanced perspective, for 4 years, people have been nonstop going through pain and sorrow. Shout out to the few people who didn't. Good for them. But I'm saying, it's like, do you have like a regular job? It's not going to be good unless you're a healthcare provider. Anybody who was booming during 2020 most likely was in real estate. Like, that's pretty much it, or on social media. And that doesn't even count because they're struggling now. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, when you think about these 4 years, it was decent in terms of financially, then it was really bad. And then we're dealing with a lot of social issues with people passing, with it being closed down, with it being racial riots upon the police brutality of George Floyd, irregardless of one may think if it is related to a skin color or not. Please do not be super aggressive, y'all, to anyone. And beyond that, in 2021, it was a holding period. COVID closed down. 2022, they started to open up things a little bit more, but things are still really bad. And in 2023, everything was just terrible, but everything was out in the open. We can be super, super free. 2023 was one of the worst years of this whole pandemic 4-year thing. And obviously 2024 is crazy. It's crazy as hell. And this is the thing, when you really put these 4 years in perspective and hear other people's stories and like what they experienced throughout these 4 years, I feel like that's also a big contributor. It's a big contribution to why people aren't even celebrating holidays. Like I said, with their family members, yes, of course, a small amount of people. With your friends, with your baby, yes, but it's not how it used to be, right? It really isn't. So yeah, like for these 4 years for me, I was stuck in a house for 4 years. I couldn't do anything, and it sucked. It sucked, and I kind of dropped out of college because I didn't feel like it was worth it. And I'm so right. I'm gonna finish my degree. I'm not done with it, but it's just like right now, it's just not smart economically. And back then, because I was going to a private art school online, and they were like overcharging me. Even though I did have a scholarship, everything was just scammy, and a lot of people agree with that, with public and private schools. So with all of that, we can also see why people just doesn't celebrate holidays anymore. And also, I think it kind of feels redundant to people to celebrate a holiday as an escapism route, or because that's what they're told to do by American society. Because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem worth it. And eventually, these escapism routes we take, it doesn't work anymore. And I have squeezed the everlasting amount of my escapism through me doing a lot of my journaling, being on social media, and it has kind of it. And then me watching YouTube, watching people talking game on YouTube. And I kind of just exasperated what I could. And because there is a lack of recreational spaces, it's going to be harder for me to make friends, especially I go to college online. my job is a different job. I work from home. I can't meet people that way. And every time I go outside and talk to people, they're very nervous to speak to me. So, and even if not, we all know that talking to somebody one time, it doesn't mean you guys are going to be friends, because it's not even because you guys are interested in each other, but that's just how it is with being nervous, meeting new people. And I'm kind of just on my last limb. I have been feeling the effects from this. It's really, really bad. I've been experiencing more emotional and mental turmoil rather than financial or physical. I am very grateful to have parents that are nice enough to help me. For example, I'm in my mom's apartment right now because I had to run away from mine, because mine's, albeit luxury, rich invested, and then it makes me sick. I actually do get nauseous in that apartment. So I have to be here. But also, it's like, I can't even, I gotta move out my apartment, but I can't find a new place to live because I can only afford $1,600. And I can't afford more because I'm trying to find a job. I can't, and no, I don't even want to work a fucking fast food job. There's no offense to it. It's just like they're not respecting people even more now. And they don't want to hire me. And there's all of these scam jobs. And any regular job has over 300 applicants. And that's people of my age, 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds applying for the same job. And they're so underpaid. Like, why are you trying to pay me $18 as a fucking graphic designer? I know you're not playing with me. You were just paying $25 in 2019. Like, I should get paid like at least $27 right now. I really should. And they don't have that. They don't. I need to become a teacher, which takes time, or I need to be in healthcare. Because, like, even if I want to go into accounting, that takes time. See? You hear that? Anything that I can get will take time. Even if I have my degree today, I actually need a master's. Because I want to be an economist. I want to work into engineering and science. And I want to have a master's in fine art so I can do art directing and other similar jobs. This always has been my plan. I didn't get my degree yet because I'm trying to go to a decent quality public school, because these private art schools don't hold the same merit as they used to. Hey, well, I went there for 2 years, so that's good enough. So that's why. But even if I had my degree, couldn't get a job. Takes an average person 6 months. And that's the issue, is like, that's also why people just don't have that holiday spirit, is because of these economic issues. This is the thing, like, I'm working in a good, reputable field of entertainment, media, game design, even wanting to work into government and healthcare with my art expertise. But the issue resides within whatever these companies are doing, and that also translates into many others' lives as well. With the fact that there are people who are 10, 20 years my senior suffering more, just as bad as I am, with jobs that I wouldn't call them better jobs. But I'm saying, if you're a software engineer, you seem to be a bit more financially important, right? For example, than me working at Walt Disney. And I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm saying, nigga, if you're a fucking engineer, why is it hard for you to get a job? If you're a software engineer, if you work into tech, why is it hard for you to get a job with these tech layoffs? And that's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's just the illusion of choice. Honestly, the answer is get a degree in anything you want to get, anything you like, get a master's, and that's it. But even people with master's degrees, they're getting laid off too. And I feel like that's partial of why there is no holiday spirit. Because it's like, well, that costs money. Beyond that, it's just like, what am I going to be celebrating for what? For why? And I'm just trying to articulate that people are emotionally and financially burnt out from all of this, which is why, kill him. I just thought of something. Maybe we as people have stopped being brainwashed by these advertisements of buying things. Because when I was a kid, I've only really been fooled by the spirit of Halloween, the spirit of holidays. And that's kind of it. Then I wanted some presents for Christmas. But one thing I do believe with the influence of companies and its marketing, it's the fact that we view it as holidays not necessarily be a necessity, but it's a part of life. It's not like, oh, we need to celebrate Christmas. It's just like we celebrate Christmas. And I feel like with the pandemic, this has allowed people to really see of how they should celebrate holidays their own selves, and if they should celebrate it, and also how they can economically be green while spending without going into red. Because if you haven't noticed, before the pandemic happened, people were very easy on consuming and spending, and all companies had to do is show cute little shiny things, upbeat music, and a happy family or group of friends. And that's all it was required. But the thing is, with all of what's going on in these past 4 years, it has allowed people to look into more clarity upon what they are seeing and really view what they were being taught and shown and their perspective upon it. I really do believe that because of these politics, not anything specifically, everything is just political, I believe people are really opening their eyes and seeing that it's not really worth it. None of this is worth it. And I really feel like that also is why there is no holiday spirit. I didn't even see any advertisements during Halloween, which is weird. I didn't, not one bit. And everyone knows what spirit Halloween is because we weren't born yesterday. We were born 3 days into the future. Oh my gosh, I want to talk about that. How they're fucking cool. Their costumes were so cheap and nasty there. So bad quality. I remember I spent $50, $60 on a Halloween costume. I was a child. I wore that shit for 3 straight years, nigga. You couldn't do that now. You look at it frayed apart. Literally, it's terrible now. And that's what I really am feeling. I think it's a lie. Also, it's with the acquirement of Amazon, having the monopoly over a lot of these companies. I feel it's partial to it too. I just believe it's just a lot of things into one. Beyond what's currently going on with the recent election of Adolf, it's literally just somebody's family members passed from COVID. They can't get a job. They lost their job. No one can get a job. It takes people 6 months to get a job. They're not paying enough. I literally need to make $7,000 a month just to get a $2,500 apartment. There is no $1,600 apartments where I live. Not a studio. Not one. I remember they used to have 1 bedrooms for $1,800. No, I gotta go for that one. So I hope you're doing great. I hope everything's good for you. Girl, I gotta leave. I heard that. I said nah. But that's my guess. I just wanted to open my heart upon this. Especially since I just am recovering from food poisoning. Don't expect me to write an essay. Peace. I hope you can celebrate your holiday in the best way you can. Unless you're a Jehovah's Witness, I hope you make it within 100,000 people that goes into heaven. Me, catch me in hell, nigga.
For the love of Mike, make it stop! the creepiest. 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 Creepiest.